Good afternoon. My name is Ibrahim Pulad, and I'm very privileged to have the last session of the last day for you. So, something that I guess you are reading every day, a word, identity, whatever you may call it, which is system. Just think of it, how many times per day you are involved with this word? Just a guess.
Like a system?
Yeah, system. So many different ways.
5 times.
5 times.
4.
4.
10.
10. And I'm going to give you objective evidence about the statistic. I Googled it this morning, the latest time. At the same time with the other words, with computers in my office. I have 3 computers because any second it may change, right? I checked the system in Google and I got about 5 billion results. And in the other side, I checked sustainability. I got 98 million. It's just most familiar word for me, which should be a lot. So you can see almost once per day, people around the globe, if we assume 5 billion people using that word. Just a statistic, just a clue. So it's very important. So right now, I'm gonna tell you that end of this session, you would be able to describe the elements of the system. And I would try to give you more information, so at least that little extract in your brain, okay? So having said that, I'm gonna start from the very basic element of system. Like when you go to chemistry class, you start from periodic table, right? Elements by elements, and then all of a sudden you are big head in chemistry. The very first element in system is instruction, procedure, guideline, whatever you may call it. Scott started to give us instruction how to change the flat tire. Very specific tasks written there, you follow and you get something. You make something, whatever. So this is all about instruction. Just think of so many instructions that made something. Let's say, back to the car or bike. So many instruction makes a car happens. Let's say I'm talking about painting the car, right? There is instruction for sandblasting. There is instruction for cleaning. There is instruction for wet application and curing. All together make a process, but they are all interlinked, following something that we call it effectiveness of the process. How do we measure it? Just we have so many conventional way of measuring, like flat tire instruction. We just make sure we can get it right, right? It's not, again, flat. So we monitor very simply. But with this, we monitor the process with its effectiveness, and I would elaborate more on it. So, back to our lovely word, system. System, as you see, is 2, 3, 4, 5 processes that following the same purpose, same goal. End of the road, they're hitting one point, which is the mission or any purpose of that system, like system of making a car. The mission is what? Giving a ride to the customer maybe 5 years. This is all purpose. But they are all related together, right? So, right now I'm going to tell you with an example how this interrelation and connection might be. Let's say I'm talking about car manufacturing system. And as I said, it should have mission. and I see the mission is 5 years guarantee, any car you buy, right? So that's the mission of the organization or car manufacturer, and all the system works together. So many processes are there. Just let me check one of them to elaborate more. When I see 5 years, I check the painting process altogether, right? I see the effectiveness of the process should be in the way that if I put the part in the cast test, it's very accelerated test. To accelerate 5 years in 2,000 hours. If this process is working well and related to this or supporting that mission, it should be effective this way. In different way, I can translate this after lots of statistics that this would be happening with 0.7 millimeter of paint. So this make this happening and supporting. Different processes, tires, engines, every process should follow that mission, and they are related together. How instruction following this? Back to paint instruction. Let's say in wet paint application, which is a torch just applying paint. Again, the statistic shows that, let's say, these are all examples, right? 0.78 millimeter wet application of the paint can make everything good and everything linked together, and you are following a mission. Just to get your involvement here, see how you see our presentation here. Are we following instruction or process or system or presentation itself?
Process.
Are you following a specific do or don't, or so could be instruction, very detailed, right? I cannot go more than 10 minutes, let's say. Just for example, tasks are given. What about ISW? What do you think?
Process.
So many instructions. Facilitator, another instruction. Me, another instruction. You, another instruction, right? But they are having same mission. That mission comes from LTO. LTO has so many processes, like ISW. So they're all together. So having your good attention, I have a little assignment. I thought we're going to be two groups, but again, you can share either your both. Yeah, I can say. This is the word by word definition of system, and I'm giving the reference. But checking this definition, I tried to define learning, which is a system. With that definition, how many points is missing, you think? Just 1 minute, we can discuss. This is the, you see this newspaper, let's say, definition of learning, and you know by this session that this is the definition. So I just underline the keywords, check if they are there. So how many of them you think is missing? Let's say system is supposed to have a purpose, right? Do you think the purpose into this definition of learning system?
Sorry?
Do you see any purpose in this definition, in this line?
To satisfy the need?
So that's satisfaction of community need, right? So it's there. Check another underlined word,